Hello everyone, my name is Jashandra Galdes and this is my presentation for my Communications 105 class. Today we'll be talking about nonverbal communication, specifically eye contact and nonverbal communication. But first, I would like to share something with you. If I'm talking a little bit faster than the slideshow is going, then feel free to pause me and read from the bullets directly, or just simply play me back and I will be right here waiting for you. So let's start off with what nonverbal communication is. Nonverbal communication is simply facial expressions we make, our body language, posture, a change in our tone of voice, or gestures. I tend to use a lot of hand gestures, which usually tells people that I'm really into what I'm saying. Or simple things like if your friend tells you that you have an exam today and you didn't know about the exam, your friend will probably get the message based on how shocked you look or how comfortable you may look. And I have attached example A and example B to show the different the different expressions someone has made while they have communicated with another person. All right, so let's move on to eye contact and why eye contact is such a huge part of nonverbal communication, especially if you're giving a presentation like I am today. If you're presenting something to someone, you want them to know that you are comfortable with what you're saying. And nothing says that more than the amount of eye contact you can make with that person or with your audience members. You want your audience to know that you value their time. You want them to know that they can trust what you're saying. And when you make eye contact with them, it shows them that you're comfortable with that. The lack of eye contact that you make takes away from the confidence that you're presenting. If you were looking off to the side and your audience is right here, they're going to wonder why you're trying to avoid them, and that may lead them into not believing a lot of what you're saying, even if you're being 100% truthful. So eye contact really does make a difference. There have been studies from the environmental and behavioral researchers at Cornell University that show that simply changing a cartoon character's eye contact on a cereal box made buyers go for the cartoon character that was looking directly at them, because they're trying to sell them a product, and by making eye contact, it attracted the consumer to the product. So that should tell you that your audience wants to know that you are engaged with them, that you really care about their time, and that this level of communication is going to continue going. Therefore, making that eye contact is the perfect way to do so. Now let's move on to a couple things about eye contact. When you're making eye contact, as Simon Sinek once said, you don't want to pan the room. You want to make eye contact with one individual at a time and then move on to the next person as time goes by. You don't want to do this, because then you may be doing unnecessary movement and you're not really focusing. You're more focusing on moving back and forth instead of what you're saying and who you're saying it to. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're not looking at one person the entire time. You may make the rest of your audience members feel like, well, are you only talking to them? Are we walking in on a private conversation? So you want to be inclusive with your eye contact and not focus on one individual at a time. When you practice making eye contact, you're going to make it a part of your natural technique of communication. So when you're having a conversation with just about anyone or saying something to just about anyone, you're going to just naturally look at them in their eyes. And when you're presenting, it's going to become more different. However, I know it's sometimes hard to look at someone in their face when you're presenting, or simply when you're talking, because you may be doing a lot of things, or you may be trying to recall what you're saying. However, the more you do it, the better you will get at it. Some things that I'd also like to bring up when it comes to eye contact is it may be disrespectful in certain cultures and certain forms, so you may want to moderate that. But like I mentioned in with my first tip, that you should never single someone out. So if you're making eye contact, no one should get disrespected by 10 to 15 seconds of direct eye contact and then moving on to the other person, because you're not channeling one person out. Okay, then. So let's move on to questions you need to ask yourself. What do I want? What type of message do I want my audience to get from this? Do I want my audience to be comfortable and confident in my message? Or do I want them to doubt what I said in my message? And a lot of that doubt stems not from the research that you're going to present, but more from how comfortable you were with what you were saying and how comfortable you seem to your audience with what you were saying. And when you make eye contact, like I mentioned before, your audience feels like, I can trust this person. This person may really know what they're talking about. They seem confident and in control. And then also put yourself in your audience's shoes. How would you react to someone looking over there if you are here and you are supposed to be engaging in communication? If you don't feel comfortable with someone talking to you and their eyes being over there, then why would your audience feel comfortable with your eyes being down here or over there when they are right here with you? They want to engage in this conversation. And this, when you're over here and they're here, they don't get a chance to do that. And that's neglecting their time. So then you need to think of simple strategies that you could practice your eye contact with. Maybe you give your presentation to a family before you give your presentation to someone else, and then you see how that works for you. Okay, all of this just goes to show that eye contact is a major part of nonverbal communication that helps people communicate with you better and helps you communicate more effectively. And when you're speaking, you want that. Thank you. My name is Shonda Valdez, and I'd like to thank you for your time.